Why did you change the format for our TMC examinations?
A soul can only appreciate truth in its living power when the soul requires it. I believe AI will take us closer to what it means to be human. A lot of persons are scared.
All right, sir. So we just wanted to ask you some questions about literature, books. So the kind of books you read, because I also read books. I read mostly Papa's books.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Amazing.
So, yes. So, what kind of books do you read, and what impact has it made?
Yeah. So for me, books. I tell young people, rather than buying books, buy books, because yeah, it has a way of expanding your world, right? Somebody said something that reading will open to you the windows of the world. By reading, you have access to, thought, ideas that are beyond your immediate environment, right? You don't have to travel. These days you can say, okay, I can go online, but online you're just observing. You're just seeing things. You're seeing how America looks like. When you understand exactly what built America, then you have to read the books, because that's the ideas of how people are thinking is what informs that. So for me, yeah, books that have really shaped me growing up. I mean, I started off by, like you said, reading Papa's books. I mean, I remember the very first encounter I had with books. I just finished, university, waiting for the next year for JAMB, alone at home, bored, only child. Nobody my age, all my friends were not in my class. They were either higher or lower, so that they're in uni or they're still in secondary school. So I have to wait for them to come out from school. So I was just, what are you doing at home? And so there are books at home. I just picked one of those books that day, and I just started reading. I don't know what took me to the back of the book. I was studying about Benjamin Franklin, Michael Faraday, because Papa wrote them in one of his books. I mean, I didn't know that those kind of things were contained in the books. I thought books were more about physics, chemistry, normal stuff people just read. I mean, I was like, wow. So that's, initial, contact just made me start, becoming more interested in books. So I read all of that. I mean, that was just part of my own, personal revival. From then on, I started reading books. The more I read books, the hungrier I became. I became more serious in my spiritual life. I started attending church by myself. Before then, if there's nobody prompting me, I ain't going nowhere. I started coming to myself, and my parents started seeing the difference, right? So then I met some friends. These guys were just crazy people. They were also people who were drinking from persons who had gone ahead of us. I remember we'll go to where they sell books, and we'll just sit down, just go to a place and just go and window shop for books. We didn't have money. We just go there, wow, this book is so good, wow, we'll take the book. Look at the book. Wow. How much is this one? They will say it's 200 naira. I say, okay. When we have money, we'll come and buy. So I read all of that. But one book that really impacted me in terms of gave me a very a balanced view of life is Rick Warren's book. Book on Purpose. What's that book title again? Rick Warren's book on Purpose. Yeah, that was when I first had contact. Someone gave me the book. One of my mentors gave me the book as a birthday gift. Imagine. Wow. And I read the book, and I was so blessed by that book. I was so blessed by the way the author wrote. I was so blessed by the way the book was just put together. It was just so very good. And the book started teaching me a lot of things. So books, Papa's books, Rick Warren's book was very good. Miles Morrow's books were just amazing. I met Miles Morrow during Shiloh 2001. Was when I started following Miles Morrow actively, and Mike Murdoch. So those were like the foundation of the books that really, has really built me up into where I am today. Yes.
What's that?
Purpose-driven life.
That's
Purpose-driven life. Yeah. I learned something early that a soul can only appreciate truth in its living power when the soul requires it. For different people, that wake-up time will be different. The alarm, an event can trigger it, right? Yeah, exposure is okay. Like for example, in my own case, we had books at home, so you can say maybe proximity to books. Yeah. So the question is, at some point in that person's life, there's going to be a hunger, and when that hunger comes, man, nothing can stop it. Somehow your heart is aligning. I mean, just do it. Just go to any bookstore. Just stand and just look at any book. any book that calls your name, just buy it. And that's, I mean, just start from there. You know, one is always starting from just one book. One book will just call your name, just whisper it.
So now we're done talking about books. Let's talk about mentors. You know, mentors shape a lot of character in someone. So who has been your best mentor? I say best. I say who has been the most
Influential mentor for you.
influential
Yeah,
mentor?
I mean, everybody knows that. Is Dr. David Oyedepo. I mean, so like I said, the first thing that, I mean, we've been attending winners since '96. I wasn't very rebellious, but whatever, you know. But when I finished school, so we'll be attending winners, saying Papa, just normal stuff. But after my secondary school was when everything changed. Like I said, I had that book hit me like a thunderbolt. Poof. I didn't know books
What
were
book
like
is
this. Winning Wisdom.
Winning Wisdom.
Yeah, Winning Wisdom. Working in Wisdom. It just hit me, poof. I'm like, woof. I just saw the book and I'm like, wow, you know. And so I became more interested, you know. I started paying more attention, listening to his messages, what he was teaching. You know, like I said, I started attending church by myself. Now the church had moved to Kenaland. And I was around 16, 17, there about 16, yeah. You know, so, you know, you can imagine the hunger in me. So it was like, so listening to him, learning from him, reading his books, you know, began to shape, you know, who I was becoming. And as my pastor. So later on, I now realized that it's not about just pastor now, it's about, you know, Covenant was just coming up at that time. So Covenant came up, and so for many of us, we started seeing the other, not just church, we're not seeing the, if you like, secular other part of, you know, his leadership. You know, he has succeeded in ministry, obviously. Now, seeing the university coming up and the social, and you're seeing, you know, what the university can become. In fact, I told my parents, it's Covenant. They say, we don't have the money, it's Covenant I'm going to. And that also, you know, taught me how to live by faith, because my being in Covenant was purely God. My parents, they won't say no, but first year I passed. I would have been among the first set, and I thank God I was not in the first set.
Wow.
You know, I was in the first set, but I couldn't come because there was no money. So I said, next year I'll try again next year. Next year I chose Covenant again. They said, you want to pass again? I said, yes. You know, but that time I said, God is you. And God just came through in very miraculous ways, right? And here I am today. So coming to Covenant, the reason why I wanted to come to Covenant primarily was so that I'll be closer to him. I mean, every day for the 4 years of my life, I'm under his tutelage. Now, who would have thought that that desire and hunger will have led to, you know, where I am today? Yeah, you know, I've had the most bizarre privilege of my life. You know, working with him, you know, for all of those years. So imagine since 2001 till 2026, about 25 years, actively, not just okay, my pastor. He's been my pastor 5 years since before then, but imagine that heart-to-heart connection. You know, so I would say who has made the greatest influence in my life is him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're about to influence someone out there who is watching, who wants to be like Dr. Azu. They say you're lucky. I don't believe in luck. I believe in hard work. I think that's from my personal experience.
Yes.
So, sir, can you give us the best advice you've heard from anyone?
The best advice or admonition is from my mentor and father and boss, Matthew 6:33. Yeah, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness and all these things. Personally, it has become the theme of my own life, influencing everything I do. Beyond just a Bible verse, for many of us in this commission, and for me personally, it has become like a credo, something that is the filter, the lens through which you filter every other thing. So if you want to say best advice, I would say that is, let me tell you how serious that is. He himself was saying that, you know, he has told his own children and everybody that his children, whether spiritual or physical, I don't have any inheritance. The inheritance I have for you, I've given you. Matthew 6:33. That's how important it is to him.
Yeah. So we are going more into what Dr. Azu does. So now Dr. Azu does an AI workshop, and I want us to listen to him about this AI workshop. It is very, very important. So, Doctor, can you tell us about
yeah,
that?
so I mean, that's just one of the many things I do. Yeah, we do a lot of things really. And my fascination with AI, I have a very strange ideology about AI, you know. My fascination with AI is that I believe AI will take us closer to what it means to be human. A lot of persons are scared that AI is going to take our job. No. You know, I think AI would expose us or make us face the reality of what it means to be human. Okay, just take for example, I asked a very simple question. How long does it take you to create a Google form, administer it? You know, let's say the form has about 65 items. I've asked several people. Someone said, oh, maybe someone said 1 week. Somebody else said 2 hours. Somebody else said 4 hours. So somebody even went to go and Google the question. And AI said, well, to do it will require you about 5 hours. And I laugh. I can do that stuff in 2 minutes. So 5 hours, 2 minutes. Doesn't make sense. So someone said, no, I'm working. What have you been doing for the past 5 hours? I'm creating Google form. No, I can do it in 2 minutes. So the question is, so what is work? You know what I'm saying? Should I shock you? You guys are doing videos right now. There are tools right now that can actually edit your video without you even touching it. Put caption, put everything, put motion graphics.
To try that out.
Yeah, so that's the next skill I want to learn. So when I learn it, I will now teach people like, look guys, you guys can do this. Particularly because I'm doing a work now that requires that skill. And there's no time or the skill is not available in-house. And there's one we can't hire for that skill now. And I've been thinking, what's the best way, what's the cheapest way to get this done? And boom, I just saw it. Oh, it's possible to do this. Fine, let's do it. It takes a very serious hardware to do that. You need a very serious hardware, but it's doable. So imagine when that happens, then why do I even need a graphic designer? So someone say, oh, you put them out of work. So now start asking ourselves, what exactly is work?
Wow.
What is work?
What is work?
So just ask ourselves, what is work? Yeah, so what is work? So let's now start defining what work means, so we can know exactly what we should be doing as human beings.
This has been a very impacting session, to be honest. It is very, 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 very impacting. Now, I think we're coming to the end of our talk show. I want to ask one question.
Okay.
The whole student of Covenant University wants to ask this question. Why did you change the format for our TMC examinations?
Okay, so well, the idea is not to change the format. The change of format stemmed naturally from the philosophy that we are trying to pursue. TMC and the other ALDC courses are like foundation courses for every Covenant University students. And so it's not because we want to change the format, that's not the goal. The goal is, where are we going to? You know, that's where are we going to? So where we are going to is what would define your approach. You know, it's not just about what you want to do. So the goal is to get people to a point where they are thinking, there's more thought into what they are learning in TMC and DLD, not just about surface level stuff. There's more thought. They are thinking about it not because we write exams. You know, I mean, I don't like exams too. I don't like exams. Yeah, I don't like exams too. I mean, as a lecturer for many years, if you ask me, the aspect of my job that I don't really enjoy, and this is exams and grading. But put me in a classroom, I can do that for 10 hours. I love classroom environment. I love teaching, I love engaging. So I don't like exams too, right? But if exams must happen, I think exams should be meaningful. I think exams, it's not about making it difficult. That's not the goal. The goal is making it more engaging, all right? And just like every other aspect of learning, it's about engagement, right? And people should be able to think, because if there's an epidemic of what we're experiencing, people are shallow. That they don't spend time thinking, and it hurts development. You know, the reason why I believe people, you call them out, this person is a thought leader. It's not because he's special. It's because he's thinking more. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, it stems from where we are going to. We're trying to, create leaders that are more thoughtful, people that can, see information and ask themselves 10, 15 questions around those information. People that can, learn different things and put them together. So it's where we are going to. So that's what informed it. It's not because Dr. Azu is wicked, what's wrong with him, and all that. No, 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 no. Like I said, I don't like exams. Left to me, we should just remove the exams from everything. Allah. But the question will now be how else should we do it?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
So, I just want to ask one more question. What Bible character can you say you look at, you work?
Yeah, so I think for me the most fascinating, well, you can't say Jesus Christ is a Bible character, so he's the Bible himself.
Yes.
So yeah, so I think it's Joseph. Joseph fascinates me a lot. What he accomplished in Egypt is just phenomenal. I mean, sometimes when I think of the story, it gives me goosebumps because, I mean, how do you do that? How could you maintain your loyalty to God at the same time he was loyal to Pharaoh? How do you do that? How do you do that? He bought the entirety of the land of Egypt for Pharaoh. He bought it, like before then, Pharaoh was king, but during the famine he actually acquired everything for Pharaoh. How do you do that? He was so influential that when his father died and we were going to bury Jacob, Pharaoh, all of the top functionaries in Egypt went to Canaan to bury Jacob. I mean, it was like, I mean, people were like, that person that died must mean so much to the Egyptians. It's his father. That was how much influence, Joseph had. And so when I think about his story, I think about how he was able to navigate all of the things he navigated through and the level of impact he made. I mean, for me, it's something I'm still studying. It's something I'm still, trying to wrap my head over. Like I said, when I think about the story, I just develop goosebumps because, a man to be that relevant, God, that's divine.
Wow. So thank you so much, sir.
Pleasure.
It's been packed. I've actually been blessed also, and I'm very sure that those that are watching are also blessed. Sir, I know that we'll be having much more sessions with you. So thank you so much, sir.
Pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.